Alright, welcome back to the tutorial. So, in the previous tutorial, we actually set up or matched Bob's health to the health bar. Pretty cool, pretty nice, big deal kind of event here, actually. And since we're on the subject, let's get a little morbid here. Like, for example, let's show how this works here. We see he's taking damage. But what happens when Bob's at 0? Right? We've got a plan for these things. So let's go ahead and let's create an actual kind of, game over screen. Alright, so that we can judge sort of when this is at 0, we get the game over. Alright, so how do we plan something like that? Well, first thing I think we're going to need is, in Project Manager, I think we're going to need to create a new scene. And we'll rename this Game Over. Let's bring up our new Game Over scene here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right-click and do Scene Properties. And I'm going to change the background color to sort of our traditional black Game Over screen. There we go. And I'm going to create a text object here for now, and it certainly does not need to be global. We're going to do txt game over. Let's make it nice and big. Game over. Okay, where's our game over? There it is. All right. And this is 800 by 600, so we can let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Let's not obsess too much over this right now. We won't obsess over this. We can always fix this up later on, all this stuff. Now, we need some way to keep track and watch for when Bob's health is at 0. When it's at 0, we need to sort of stop everything and just initialize this game over scene. So how are we going to do that? We can do that via an external event that just always constantly watches to see if it's at 0. That's sort of creating a kind of game loop here that constantly watches and makes sure that it's not set at 0. That might be the best way to do it, actually, is just sort of doing a check right there. Let's do that. Let's create an external event, and we'll call it we'll rename it, we'll call it check for game over. All right, let's associate it with Basic Kingdom Room. Let's add an event. Let's go ahead and place it or link it before we forget. And let's put it in the game mechanics section here. Okay, because this game mechanics section is an important one that we're going to port to pretty much every scene. Let's add a group. No, not group. What am I doing? Let me delete that. Sorry. Add a link. Okay, let's move it underneath here. And we'll do check for game over. There it is. All right. And for this one, we're actually just going to use our condition that if the value of our global variable Bobstats current health, I'm going to say is less than or equal to, just to cover our basis in case Bob, let's say Bob has 2 points of health or whatever, and he takes 3 points of health. technically his health is -1, but so that's why we'll cover our bases here and say if it's less than or equal to 0, what do? Well, we pretty much want to change the scene, right? We want to change the scene. Stop any other pause scenes? Absolutely. The game is over. So let's put in quotation marks here our new scene, which is game over. All right. Let's run a preview here and see how we did. There it is. Game is over. Now we can create, it probably would be better to create a kind of menu like in Paint 3D or Pascal or whichever kind of editor you use for sprites and whatnot. You can create a little screen here that talks about let's start the game over again, reset all your variables, things like that. But that's basically the easiest, that's the old tried and true way of just, losing a game. It certainly isn't graceful, you just kind of lose and that's it. But now, at least we know that when Bob's health is at 0, he's done. He's done. All right. Nice, short, quick, to the point on that one.